to the last week of STEMbrarians. It's so sad that we won't be able to do more of these science videos, but the good news is there may or may not be some science videos coming your way this summer, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into today's experiment. Today, we're going to be building something. So this is more the engineering side of STEM, and we're going to be building a grabber. Now you may be thinking, Miss Alex, what do you mean by a grabber? Well, have you ever tried to reach something maybe like on a tall shelf in your kitchen cabinet, or maybe like a cookie that's hiding somewhere and your parents put it out of reach? You might want to make a grabber to try to reach it if you can't reach it yourself and if it's not safe to climb up on the item. So we're going to make a grabber. Now, you will need a couple simple supplies. The first thing you will need, I'm going to pause it here to the side, it's a coffee can. No, not a coffee can. You're going to need popsicle sticks. So you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you're going to need 8 popsicle sticks, just your regular everyday, not like super big ones, just any regular ones. If you have colored ones, that's fine too if you'd like. I'm going to put that to the side here. Have my popsicle sticks. The next thing you're going to need, a little bit out of reach for Miss Alex, see, could use a grabber for that, is some milkshake straws. So these you can get at most craft stores, or you might even have them around your house. Could be an excuse for you to ask your parents to take you to a fast food place to get a milkshake and get an extra straw. These are some fun ones we had lying around. So some milkshake straws, specifically 2, and then we're going to cut them down. I also have some already pre-cut pieces, so I may use those instead to help recycle and reduce and reuse. The next item you will need are 2 skewers. Now these you have to be a little careful with because these are pointy on one end, and sometimes they may have parts that are like coming off, so you might almost get a splinter. So definitely have a parent help you with this part of the project, and just again be careful because it can be pointy and it can hurt you. I've gotten hurt before with these guys. So, but 2 skewers, we're going to use them for our grabber as well. And then if you want to make it a little fancy at the end, you'll be able to like design it a little. You can always use markers to color it, but also we have some pipe cleaners if you want to add like extra support to your grabbers on the end. So I have some of those here. And then just something to practice picking up with your grabber. So I have 2 plastic cups that I'm going to tape together to make a little thing my grabber can grab. So let's get into it. I have here just some duct tape, so we're going to start by just taping together our little cup. I'm going to put just a little piece underneath. Now, it's probably better for you to use masking tape. I'm using duct tape just because that's all we have, but I just put a little bit right on the bottom there, and then I'm just going to push together the 2 just so it stays and it doesn't fall apart. And if you think you need to, you can put a little extra reinforcement around the base. I think I'm okay, so I'm going to hold on to this for now for later. And let's get started. So we are going to start with our popsicle sticks and our straws. So if you have a big straw at home, you can use it, and you're going to cut it into quarters. So quarters means 4 pieces of a whole. So you can either measure out the whole length, or you can just kind of eyeball it. But you want to try to cut it into 4 even pieces. So like I said, I have some pieces here I'm going to use, and I believe I have 1/4 here. So if you have one, you can use it to measure, or you can use some other ones you might have. So I'm going to use my 1/4 to measure. And again, it doesn't have to be exactly right, but, and your straw might go flying, so just be careful. And then the last one. And there goes my last piece, but it's okay, I had an extra in my hand. So as you guys can see, my quarters are pretty even. One slightly bigger than the other, but that's okay. So you have 4 quarters, so you're going to do this with both straws. Now, like I said, I think I have some extra cut pieces in here. Yeah, I have 2 pink halves, so I'm just going to cut them in half, and that will make quarters for that guy. And I'm just going to hold it. Now, just, again, be careful with scissors. If you need help from a grown-up, definitely ask. You don't want to get cut, especially with pieces that go flying. All right, so I have 4 pink quarters and 4 purple quarters, and not quarters like money. And we have our popsicle sticks here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 popsicle stick. You're going to stick it inside one end of the the milkshake straw, and then you're going to stick another popsicle stick on the other side of the milkshake straw. Now, you want to leave, it's going to be a little hard to see through here, but you want to leave a little bit of space in the middle of the two. So my popsicle sticks aren't touching inside the straws like this. There's a little bit of a gap between the two. And since these straws are very big, you might have ones that are slightly smaller. You may or may not need to tape around it so there's not a gap. So I'm just going to use that duct tape that I have. Again, if you have masking tape, that's fine too. And you're just going to kind of squish it down and tape around it so that way it kind of flattens out. And you can flatten out your straw so it fits better. Like I said, if you have big popsicle sticks, you can use those if they fit better inside your straw. Whatever works for you. That's the fun part about science and engineering, is experimenting. So I'm just going to tape this around the base here just to kind of hold it down. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just enough. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to push this guy almost all the way. Okay, sorry about that. My camera cut out. But as you guys can see, I taped both ends of my popsicle stick to my straw. There's a little space in the middle there. So I'm just going to do this same thing for all the other popsicle sticks and straws. So you guys can just watch as I speak through this part. So as you guys can see, I have all my pink little straws and popsicles all put together. And I do still have my extra guys here. We're going to use them in just a minute, so we're going to put them to the side. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your skewer and you are going to pierce it through. So you're going to be careful. You don't want to get hurt. And you're going to hold on to the end of the popsicle stick on one side, and you're going to use the pointy part of the skewer to push down through the middle there, okay? So just be very careful. It should go through pretty easily. All right, so you want to push through almost all the way, and you're actually going to push through another part of the other stick. So that way they kind of are like crisscrossed. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's do the same thing here. And again, you just want to be careful when you're pushing through that you don't poke the other side of your hand, and you can ask a grown-up for help. So your sticks should kind of cross like this. I don't know if you guys can see it like that. Just watch your face. Don't poke yourself like I almost just did. So you're going to push it through like that. And then you're going to be very careful, and you're going to just leave a little bit out on the top and a little bit out on the bottom, and then we're going to break it. So this is the part that's tricky. You might need your grown-up's help. You can either use scissors, or you can push your finger into it and kind of bend it back and forth to break it. So you want to hold your little base here. You want to hold each side, and you just kind of want to bend and snap it off. And again, you might get a little bit of a sharp point there. You want to be careful because you don't want to get hurt and get splinters. And then you can kind of just cut it off and make it a little less sharp. There you go. And again, you can have your parent help you with that part, but it'll look kind of like this. And then you'll see how this makes our grabbing motion later. Okay? So I'm going to do that with the next one. So you're going to use the same stick, and you're going to go right through the center of this guy. And again, you just want to be careful not to hurt your fingers. And again, you can trim off the end that you broke off on this side. to make sure you don't get hurt. And push that almost all the way through. And then you're going to put the skewer in the opposite direction. So you push. And try to be careful not to bend your straw if possible, because that will mess up with our project. All right, there you go. So you've got another plus or cross or however you want to view it. And again, leave a little bit on the end. Put your fingers here and snap. And again, be very careful because you do not want to hurt yourself. And once you kind of get it broken off, then you can just trim. And you always want to cut off a little bit more because you could always trim it down and make it. So then we have another grabber piece. All right. Let's get all these little splintery pieces out of the way. See, Alex doesn't want to get a splinter either. Okay, so now that you have your two X's with your skewers poking through them, this is where our other straws come in. So what you're going to do is take your straw, and just like we did before taping it to the end of these guys, you're going to tape it to the end here. And what we'll do is we're going to put straws on either end, and we're going to overlap and crisscross and use our other skewer. So I'll show you so it makes more sense. So make sure you have some tape. And you're just going to put it on the end here. And again, just go about halfway, not the whole way. And you want to tape it down. Nice and secure to the popsicle stick. Okay. And then we're going to take our other piece of tape and tape it to this popsicle stick. Oops. And again, about halfway. The purple's a little harder to see through, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be exact. And voila, there you go. And then now we're going to overlap our pieces so it kind of makes it like an extra X sort of. So we're going to overlap them like that and stick a popsicle stick through there. So you want to go right in front of where your popsicle stick ends in the middle on both ends. So you'll have some extra space on the side, but you want to push them flat and you're going to use that skewer again. Again, be very careful. This one's a little trickier because you have to hold the straws, but you should be able to push right through. And if you need to, you can push through one first just to be safe. And then once you get it through, then you can push through the other one. And again, you want to try to make it sort of right at the end of the guy. All right, there we go. So I'm through, and then you just want to push it all the way like we did before, all the way through. Just leave a little bit on the end, just like that, my friends. And then we're going to snip off the end like we did before. Again, you want to be very careful you don't hurt yourself. And snip. And then we're going to do the same thing on this end with the other two pieces. And this is what's going to help. I need more tape. This is what's going to help our grabber get some motion. And then that's pretty much it. Like I said, you can add some extra pieces at the end to decorate and to kind of make it have better grabbing abilities. But let's just tape this guy here. And we're going to tape this guy to here. Voila. And then I'm pretty much ready to test our grabber. So again, you're going to poke through, and again, be very careful because you do not want to hurt your fingers. All right, so let me go through the end of this guy over here. And again, you might need help from a grown-up, and that's okay. There we go. And then over here, same thing. We're just going to push through. There we go, like that. See? So you should have kind of like a big diamond X shape sort of thing. And again, you want to push through almost all the way, even just a little bit. I'm going to trim this end so it's not too sharp. And then we're going to break off this end over here again. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. And then just trim. And there you have it, your grabber. Now you might be thinking, Miss Alex, how am I supposed to grab anything with that? Well, this is where we come into play with the pipe cleaners. So you can put on the end, if you'd like, little hooks to help grab. You can wrap around the pipe cleaner around the end to give it extra stability and friction when it grabs. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just do a quick little loop-de-loop around the end here. And that way it gives something to grab against. So I'm just twisting the loop of my pipe cleaner. These are just some pipe cleaner pieces we had laying around. If you don't have pipe cleaner at home, you can use the tape we were using before. And then you can see, just like that, it moves and it grabs. So let's practice grabbing our cup. So I'll put it, there you go, so you can see it. Here's my grabber, my little pieces on the end here to make it, hopefully grip it better. And you want to only grab light stuff, but ta-da! My grabbers are helping by moving open and shut, and then the little pipe cleaners on the end are creating a friction to stop it from sliding. And that way I'm able to pick it up. And if I had water in it, I could drink some. Although I wouldn't recommend that because this isn't super stable, and anything that's heavier than maybe a light cup or maybe a ball or something that you're trying to pick up that's very light would probably break this and spill your drink. So maybe don't drink from it like that. But it is fun to grab. Like I said, if there's a cookie on the top shelf you want, you can just casually pull out your grabber you made and reach up and grab it and enjoy some fun engineering. So I'd love to see pictures of your grabbers at home. And if you send them to us, it's childrens@fairlawn.bccls.org. Thank you so much for joining us for our last STEMbrarians. I hope you enjoyed our little engineering project. And we will see you again, like I said, hopefully summertime for some more science and technology and engineering and math fun. Bye, friends.